Now, any company which is not a private company, that becomes a public company. As simple as that, right? A director can at least be a director for not more than 20 companies. That is, and when we go with self-attested, what happens is, if we are telling something wrong, we are only blamed. That is the reason they go with self-attested. The certificate of incorporation is issued by the registrar of companies, that is the ROC. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students here. Now in the last session we understood that how to form a private company, how to incorporate a private company. Now we'll go with one more procedure, that is the next session is all about public limited company. We know that which company is called as a public company and which company is called as a private company. When we understand the differences, I'll tell you, it is very easy for us to know the characteristics of each company. Now supposingly, if you don't know how to recognize a public company or a private company, I'll give you a simple trick. What is that you are supposed to do is just check the company's name. If you go and check the company's name, in the last of their name, that is a suffix, is pvt.ltd. That is called as private limited. And if you have the name and in the last, that is a suffix, you have only limited, ltd, that company is called a public company. So it's a very easy for you to understand. Say example, if I say that ABC PVT Limited, now it is a private company or a public company? It's a private company. If I say ABC Limited, now what type of a company it is? It is a public company. So that is how you are supposed to solve these things. Now, which are called as a public company? Now, any company which is not a private company, that becomes a public company. As simple as that, right? So the second one here is a private company. See, understand this. A private company which is subsidiary of a public company shall also be deemed to be a public company. That means what? Now we have started our private company. It's called ABC PVT Limited, but the subsidiary of a public company. Now what happens? That PVT will be removed. Now when you are a subsidiary of a company, of a public company, you will also be considered as a public company. So this is a very important one, that is a private company which is subsidiary of a public company shall be deemed to be a public company. Next one is a public company must have at least 7 shareholders and minimum 3 directors. When I say shareholder, we also call the shareholder as a member. That means the 1956 Companies Act, or you check the 2013 Companies Act, we have a minimum and a maximum. So here in 2013, the Companies Act, if you go with it, if you understand this Companies Act, you will get to know that the minimum number to be a member of a public company is 7. And when it comes to the maximum, it is unlimited. It is what? Unlimited. So this is how you are supposed to go with. That is, in a minimum there are 7 and maximum it is unlimited. Now there is no limit. See, understand, there is no limit for maximum shareholder in a public company. The reason here is, it is called as public company. The reason here, same kind of a thing, that is anybody can be the member of a company. You may ask a question, sir, can a state having a public company, the other state members, can they actually be a member of this company? Yes, you have all the provisions. Say example, Infosys is there, right? Now Infosys is, the headquarters is in Mysore, but we have people who are from Gujarat, Rajasthan, Sabarmalapur, or any of the part of the India. They are also the shareholders of Infosys. Now if you ask me, sir, if a foreigner, can he invest Definitely yes. Even a foreigner can invest and he can be a member of any of the public company or any of the private company. But here the problem is he should go with set of rules and regulation which is being charged by the SEBI, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India. So here what it is, minimum we got to know it is 7, and how many directors, that to minimum directors are how many? 3 are the minimum directors for a public company. Now procedure for public limited company formation. How a company is formed, that to a public company. In the last session I have explained you about the how to form a private company. Now if you understand the formalities of being a private company and to form a public company, a little variation is there. Apart from that, all other procedures are the same. So the first one is the same kind of a thing, that is DSC and DIN. Now you should tell me what is DSC and what is DIN. In the last session I told you about the acronym and the abbreviation of DSC and DIN. Let me tell you now, digital signature certificate is called as DSC, and DIN means what? That is director's identification number. So you are supposed to go for a registration and you are supposed to get approval of DSC and DIN. Now this is actually being given to a director, that is DIN is given to a director for the whole time, that is until his breath. He'll actually have a unique identity called director's unique identity, that is called as DIN. And here what happens is, why DIN is given is, there is this provisions. What exactly the provisions are? That is, a director can at least be a director for not more than 20 companies. That is, the ceiling is there. That is, they are not supposed to be a director for more than 20. They can go with 20, 19, 18, 1, 2, 3, they can go with it, but not more than 20. Then the next one is name approval. So we are supposed to go for the name approval. Now in name approval what happens is, you can actually give 6 names to your company. Now the registrar will actually check. When he'll check, he'll get to know that these are the things which we are supposed to follow. And if he feels that there is any resemblance of it, any kind of a resemblance, then what happens is, he will tell that we can't go with those names. Now again, order wise we will actually go with favorable, which one we'll go with. Now he'll tell that 3 or 4 names is already repeated, 2 names which are like unique, you can go for it. We will have a choice and then we'll go with the name approval. Second one is that memorandum and articles of association. Now we are supposed to maintain these documents, that is MOA and AOA, that is memorandum of association, and we will go with article of association. Very important document. Now in memorandum of association we will have the objectives, and there are 6 clauses, and I have told you what exactly those clauses are. I'll repeat, no issues. The first clause is the name clause. Second clause is you will go for registration. Third clause is about the objective. Fourth, you have something called liability clauses. Now when you understand the name clause, registered clause, now registered in the sense where you have registered situational clauses. Then you will have something called the liability clauses. After liability clauses, you will actually go with one more clause, that is the association clause. Now meanwhile, if you understand all these things, that is what the memorandum of association will give you a gist about who all are the people who are involved in making this company also. When we go with article of association, now it is all about the rules and regulation, how the management should work, what is the purpose of it, and the internal management code of conduct. Everything will be given in the article of association. Then when we go with the next one, that is filling of incorporation forms on MCA portal. Now I'll tell you what exactly the MCA portal is. Next one is certification, that is additional information required by ROC. Any kind of clarification the ROC, registrar of companies, will ask, you are supposed to actually tell them. Next is certificate of incorporation. Now certificate of incorporation, here please understand, In private company, we only go with certification of incorporation. We don't need certificate of commencement. But for a public company, if you are forming it, if you want to run it, then you are supposed to have both the certificate, that is certificate of incorporation and certificate of commencement. So both are very important. Next one is bank account opening and remittance of subscription money. So that means you should have a bank which is like your bank kind of a thing, which you are supposed to have a transaction with, and they will go with the opening and remittance where you can go for it. That means you should have a bank account, and subscription money will go to where? To that particular bank alone. So these are the formalities to form a public limited company. So let's go with the first one, the digital signature certificate, that is DSC and DIN. Now when we go with DIC and DIN, please understand, DSC and DIN, Director Identification Number, for all proposed director of the company must be obtained. They should get a DSC as well as DIN. It is mandatory. Second is, digital signature is the only secure and authentic way that a document can be submitted electronically. Now whenever we go with electronically, see, everything is being now digital. Earlier what used to happen is their authenticated signature should be there. Now what happens is you will have a DSC, so that DSC itself is authenticated. Then all filling of e-forms on MCA portal are required to be filled with the use of digital signatures by the person authorized to sign the documents. For obtaining DS, that is digital signature application, need to be made to license certifying authority, that is CA. It's not chartered accountant, it is certifying authority, along with a self-attested copy of proof of identity and proof of address. That is what these people need to actually go with. Now here, if you understand, a kind of MCA means what? Ministry of Certifying Authority. Now here you need to understand that sometimes what really happens is, though you have gone with digitalized, but you are supposed to always go with self-attested document saying that who you are. And when we go with self-attested, what happens is, if we are telling something wrong, we are only blamed. That is the reason they go with self-attested. And the proof of identity, one of the identity card, you may have Aadhaar card, your PAN card you have, then you have voter ID, you have so many, driving license, all those things are there, right? Now proof identity and a proof of address. When you go with proof of address, you usually go with Aadhaar card, right? Or your ration card or voter ID, that is what you people will go. But nowadays what has happened is Aadhaar card is a must and everything is linked to Aadhaar card itself. So these are the things which you are supposed to do for DSC and DIN. So the thing is, you need to first get the application and then you are supposed to get the license, and then only all the signatory will happen as a authenticated process. Name approval. When we go with the name approval, what really happens here is, now name approval has to be obtained from the registrar of company, that is called ROC, by submitting an application in form number INC1, that is incorporation. The applicant can give maximum 6 names. See, here also we have the same kind of a thing what we had in private company, in order of preferences. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in the way you go with the preferences you are supposed to go. The name once approved by the authority is valid for 60 days. Now within that 60 days you are supposed to go for incorporation. See, both the name approval of a private company or a public company, the procedure remains the same. That means you need to actually give 6 names order wise, that is your preference wise. When you give 6 names for all these kind of a thing which you really want the company name to be, then what happens is the registrar will actually check whether all the 6 names are unique or other 6 names are repeated. Now, if you get something like all the 6 names, in the sense the first name itself is unique, now the registrar will actually approve that as a first name itself. When he approves and gives authority saying that yes, it can be taken, now you have 60 days of time. How many days? 60 days of time. In that 60 days of time, now you are supposed to go for incorporation. Supposingly, you have not gone for incorporation even after 60 days. Now what happens? Anybody would have taken that name, so that name will be given to them. So you will be not getting that name. The next name you are supposed to go with. That is how the process starts. So many of them, they don't actually waste their time. There are examples which I can actually give you, that many of them, they have already taken their name but they couldn't go for incorporation, so the name would have taken from somebody to somebody else. So we got two things. One is we need to take a DSC and DIN, and next one is we are supposed to go for name approval. Both of the procedure, it's the same kind of a role which they are supposed to play. Next, memorandum and article of association. After obtaining name approval, the draft commission, that is the draft constitutional documents of proposed company, that is memorandum of association and article of association of the company, is to be drafted. So you need to get a draft of those two documents and then file with the ROC along with the form and other necessary documents. Now, while doing it, who should be there? The company secretary's presence should be there. It's like mandatory, because ROC will not be talking to any of the other people. He'll only be very specific and he'll only talk to a person called a company secretary. So here what happens is, after the name approval is done, now we need to actually sit and draft the memorandum of association and article of association, and both we are supposed to give it to the ROC. Now if ROC have any problem with this, now he'll go for the clarification of other documents. And the next one here we have is filling of incorporation form on MCA portal. Now here we need to understand that what exactly we are supposed to fill. There are 3 forms which we are supposed to go with. Now what are the forms? The first one here is the declaration of compliance. Declaration of compliance with the requirement of the Act on application for registration of a company. That is, we need to actually fill a form saying that we are going for registration of a company, and that is called as the incorporation number 7. Next we will go with the form number incorporation 22, that is all about the notice of situation of registered office. Now where you have registered office, that particular location you are supposed to brief to the ROC. Here the form number for the director, that is number 12, that is appointment of directors of the company. So all these things we are supposed to do. So here understand the chronological order. DSC and DIN will get it. After that we'll go for the name approval. Now name approval is also done. Next we'll go for memorandum and article of association. We're gonna draft it, and then we'll fill few of the incorporation forms. See, understand what is it? Incorporation form. This is what incorporation form is. DIRS for directors. So 3 of the forms will go for that. Next one is clarification or additional information required by ROC. Now ROC also wants what exactly you people are operating with. So there are few of the documents. After filing of incorporation document, an officer at the registrar of company's office will scrutinize the application and he may require certain clarification. Now whatever he goes with, if you are going for registration, you are supposed to have all the documents which is legal, you are supposed to produce to them whenever they ask for any of the documents verification. These clarifications or inquiry need to be satisfied by the applicant or power of attorney holders in the order to get company incorporated. So here we need to actually be very wise, and we should be very careful that all the documents which is like basic necessities which you are supposed to always have, and you are supposed to show it to the officer who comes from the ROC, and he is a person who will go for scrutinizing the applications, and any doubts he has, any clarification he has, Those should be clarified. After that, we'll go with certificate of incorporation. What is it? Certification of incorporation. Now here when we go, once all clarifications are provided, the certificate of incorporation is issued by the registrar of companies, that is ROC, along with the unique company identification number, that is like CIN, that is company identification number. What is that? CIN. That is what we will get in the kind of a incorporation. And here, and the company is deemed to be incorporated from the date of the certificate of incorporation is given. Once the certificate of incorporation is issued, company may apply for PAN, TAN and the bank account opening and other tax and regulatory registrar as may be required to run the business smoothly. So here what happens is you will have a permanent account number or a temporary account number or a bank account. All these things you can actually go with it, because now your company is incorporated, because you have already got a unique, that is number, that is called company identification number. You don't need to write the name alone, only the company identity number. If you write it, you will get all the details about that company. Now after this, we will go with the next one, that is the bank account opening and remittance of subscription money. Now here what happens is you need to understand that the bank you are supposed to open and your subscription money will only go to that particular bank. Now after incorporation, a bank account in the same of newly incorporated company shall be opened by the board of directors and the subscribers. Who will open that? Board of directors and the subscribers of memorandum and article of association of the company shall deposit their subscription money in such bank account to help the company raise initial capital. What is it? Initial capital to start its business. Now you are ready to go. But here when you go for incorporation, again you will have little time, but you are supposed to get a commencement certificate. Only after commencement certificate you can start your business smoothly. So these are the procedures of how to form a public limited company. If you have any doubt regarding this, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.